Every Friday night, an old woman walked alone to a train station where trains no longer stopped. She always bought 2 tickets, not 1, 2. And for nearly 15 years, nobody ever used the second one. Until one rainy evening, someone finally asked why. The town of Alder Creek had grown quieter over the years. Most stores closed before sunset. The old movie theater became a storage building, and the train station at the edge of town had almost been forgotten completely. Almost. Because every Friday night at exactly 8:15, Margaret Hill still arrived there. 72 years old, dark blue sweater, brown umbrella, gentle eyes filled with distance and memory. She walked slowly to the empty ticket window and bought 2 train tickets every single week. The station clerk stopped asking questions years ago. Most people assumed Margaret was lonely or simply trapped in the past. After buying the tickets, she always sat on the same wooden bench beneath the dim station lights. 1 ticket rested quietly in her hands. The second remained untouched beside her. Then she waited, not for minutes, but for hours sometimes, watching trains rush through the darkness without stopping. One cold, rainy evening, a young station worker named Daniel noticed her shivering alone beneath the flickering lights. 28 years old, quiet, kind, new to Alder Creek. He walked over carefully, holding 2 cups of coffee. "You shouldn't sit out here alone in this weather," he said softly. Margaret smiled politely. Daniel glanced at the second ticket resting beside her, then finally asked, "Who is the other ticket for?" Margaret looked down at it for a very long moment, then quietly answered, "My husband." Rain tapped gently against the station roof. Margaret's eyes softened with memory. "His name was Edward," she whispered. Many years earlier, every Friday night, they took the late train to Brighton City together. Dinner, music, long walks beneath glowing streetlights. No matter how difficult life became, Friday nights belonged to them. Edward always bought the tickets, and Margaret always carried them carefully inside her coat pocket. Then one winter evening, everything changed. Edward received an emergency phone call from work just before they left home. He kissed Margaret gently and smiled. "You go ahead," he told her. "I'll catch the next train." Pause 1 second. For the first time in years, Margaret boarded alone. She kept looking toward the station doors, waiting for Edward to appear, but he never did. That same night, his car slid off an icy road just outside town. He never made it to the station. Daniel sat quietly beside her, listening. Margaret stared down at the second ticket, trembling softly between her fingers. "For a long time," she whispered, "I thought if I kept buying his ticket, some part of him would still find his way back to me." 1 second. Daniel felt his chest tighten. Margaret smiled sadly through tired eyes. "But after all these years, I think I kept buying it because love feels lonelier when you stop saving a place for someone." The cold wind moved softly through the empty station. Margaret's hands trembled slightly from the cold. Daniel looked toward the empty bench beside her. Then slowly he sat down. "For tonight," he said gently, "you shouldn't have to wait alone." Margaret looked at him in surprise. Then, for the first time that evening, she smiled without sadness. After that night, Daniel began bringing 2 cups of coffee every Friday evening, 1 for Margaret and 1 for the empty seat beside her. Sometimes they talked quietly. Sometimes they sat in silence listening to the rain and passing trains. But somehow, the station no longer felt quite so empty anymore. Then one Friday night, Margaret didn't come. The station lights flickered softly against the rain. 8:15 passed. No blue sweater, no brown umbrella, no second ticket. Daniel stood alone beside the empty bench, then quietly walked to the ticket window and bought 2 tickets, 1 for himself and 1 for Margaret. Because sometimes love leaves small rituals behind, and long after people are gone, the quiet places they once filled with warmth continue carrying pieces of them forever.